Hello everyone, what is going on? Christopher, the video game historian here, and for this video, or rather series of videos, I wanted to talk about a few World War I movies that I've recently seen. Now, we know that there are a plethora of World War II movies out there, like Fury, Saving Private Ryan, Inglourious Basterds, and The Monuments Men, among others, but there really aren't a whole lot of movies about the Great War. And that's why I wanted to do with this video, to talk about a few movies that are set in that time period and why you should go watch them. Now, over the course of the past 3 months or so, I watched 3 different movies that took place during World War I, and no, Wonder Woman is not one of them, although it was a really good film. The movies I saw were Journey's End, All Quiet on the Western Front, and The Lost Battalion. Each video will be about a different movie, and for this one, I thought I would talk about the one that everyone has probably heard of before, and that is All Quiet on the Western Front, which is based off the book of the same name, written by the German veteran of the war, Erich Remarque, who would have the book published in 1928. In 1933, as the Nazis rose to power, this book, along with its sequel, The Road Back, were not only banned, but also burned publicly. As for the movie itself, it follows a cast of characters who enlist in the German military upon graduating from Gymnasium in the spring of 1916. What this film does quite brilliantly, which I didn't realize until after the movie ended, is that it sets up a lot of things at the very beginning of the film, only to contrast them at the very end. For example, when Paul Baumer, the main character, and his schoolmates graduate, they are in a patriotic fervor that inspires them to go and enlist straight away into the military, to do their duty for the fatherland. By the end of the film, the war is ending, newly enlisted privates are not all that thrilled to be part of this military, and the characters who once joined the fight for their country without question why they fight. Despite the movie starting off a little slow, by developing these characters and providing backstory and exposition, it becomes engrossing and addictive really quick, making you want to know more about these characters and their camaraderie. As the movie progresses, it makes a main focus on the interactions between the characters and how they interact with one another, how they care for each other, and will fight for one another. The movie does a great job at showing the life of a German soldier in the trenches, in reserve, and overall showing these soldiers in a human light. Throughout the film, I often forgot that I was watching German soldiers fraternize with French women, goof around by trying to catch a few wild geese, or beat rats in their dugouts. The movie shows them as humans just like the French or British. One scene encapsulates this perfectly, as the main lead is in a shell hole hiding from French soldiers at night. When one unfortunate French trooper jumps in, he is stabbed by Baumer, who almost immediately regrets killing this man, as they could have been brothers and that he would have done the same. It makes the point that war is hell and that nothing good ever comes from it. Speaking of which, the development of these characters is done really well, as you learn about nearly everyone in the platoon from the very beginning, through their struggles, and throughout the movie. Each character is different and grows differently, and by the end you, as the viewer, have connected with them in some way, and as such the final scenes of the movie gives you the goosebumps, and leaves you kinda in awe by the fate of each one. The ending for me, as someone who has never seen the movie before, nor read the book, was very surprised and was quite sad, as I felt I had not only invested my time learning these characters, but also went through what they were going through and felt like I was there in the trenches with them. It was a shocking ending, but one that was necessary to drive home the point of the movie, and that is, death is not an adventure for those that stand face to face with it, for that a generation of men who, even though they may have escaped its shells, were destroyed by the war. As for the combat, it's cool to see weapons like the Gewehr 98, Maxim heavy machine gun, the Hotchkiss light machine gun, and the Lebel 1886 to be seen in use throughout the movie, but as far as the actual combat, gunfights, and melee go, it's really nothing special. It's a 1979 made-for-TV movie, so the production values aren't going to be stellar. There are some over-the-top moments, like 3 Frenchmen going flying in 3 different directions when they die from a hand grenade, even though one of them was nowhere near the explosion, or many soldiers who get shot throughout the movie falling down in your typical 1970s fashion of grabbing where they were shot, making some noise, and falling down in the most dramatic way possible. That being said, it's not bad, and these moments are not too common, and only seem to show up in the bigger battle scenes. And like I said, it was the 1970s, so you have to take that into account as well. As for the acting, the film itself was very well acted, with the talents of Richard Thomas, Ernest Borgnine, Ian Holm, Michael Sheard, and Donald Pleasance, among others, giving phenomenal performances. I mean, really, what other film can you say that had Bilbo Baggins fighting alongside Blofeld and Adolf Hitler's son? Seriously, look it up on IMDb of Ian Holm, Michael Sheard, and Donald Pleasant. I think you'll be quite surprised at the roles that they played in larger movies. Overall, I would give this movie a recommendation, especially for anyone who not only wants to watch a phenomenal cast of actors, but to watch a gripping account of the war from the German perspective. Like I said, it did start off a little slow in the beginning, but if you can make it through the first 25 minutes or so, the film picks up really fast after that. If you haven't seen it yet, Walmart usually carries the title for about $5, or you can get it off of Amazon for about the same price. If you have Amazon Prime, it is also free with your subscription. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and leave your comments down below on what you thought of the movie if you've already seen it. I'll have part 2 out tomorrow, and until next time, I'll see you all on the battlefield.